When the First World War ended, Europe's old empires had crumbled, but peace didn't immediately follow. From the Baltic to the Balkans, new nations were rising, each trying to define where their borders and their identities truly began. Among them were two former partners in history, Poland and Lithuania. For centuries, they had shared a common state under one crown. But in 1918, after more than a century of foreign rule, both reappeared on the map and almost immediately turned against one another. What followed was a brief yet bitter conflict, a forgotten border war over one ancient city, Vilnius. After World War I, the collapse of the Russian, German, and Austro-Hungarian empires left a vacuum across Eastern Europe. Poland, led by Józef Pilsudski, dreamed of rebuilding a federation, a new Polish-Lithuanian commonwealth that could stand between Germany and Russia. He imagined cooperation, not conquest. Lithuania, under Antanas Smetona, saw things differently. For them, independence meant breaking away from all foreign influence, even from their former Polish partner. At the heart of this dispute was Vilnius, the medieval capital of Lithuania, but by 1919 a city where most inhabitants spoke Polish or Yiddish. For both nations, Vilnius was not just a city. It was a symbol of legitimacy and heritage. In early 1919, as German troops withdrew and Soviet forces retreated, Polish and Lithuanian patrols filled the empty space. Neither side clearly knew where the border should run. Near Merkina and Zany, small skirmishes broke out. The first shots of a war neither side had officially declared. Poland, already fighting Bolsheviks to the east, quickly pushed forward to secure railways and towns. By April 1919, Polish forces entered Vilnius, driving out the Soviets and raising the Polish flag. For Pilsudski, it was liberation. For Lithuania, it was an occupation. In 1920, the Polish-Soviet War changed everything. As the Red Army advanced, Polish lines collapsed. In July, Soviet troops entered Vilnius, handing it over to Lithuania in an effort to keep Lithuanians out of the fighting. For the first time in centuries, Vilnius was back under Lithuanian control, though briefly and by Soviet favor. Poland protested but could do little while fighting for its survival on the Vistula River. Then, in August, Poland achieved a miracle. At the Battle of Warsaw, Pilsudski's forces defeated the Soviets, turning the tide. Suddenly, the Polish army was moving east again and heading straight for Vilnius. As Polish troops pushed north, clashes with Lithuanian units reignited near Druskininkai, Varna, and Alytus. The Lithuanians, now supported by limited Soviet supplies, tried to hold their new positions. But their lines were stretched thin, and Poland's returning armies were far stronger. Both governments blamed the other for renewed hostilities. Lithuania insisted it was defending its sovereignty. Poland claimed it was securing supply lines against Bolshevik remnants. To avoid international condemnation, Pilsudski devised a clever, if deceptive, plan. He ordered General Lucjan Żelazowski, a native of the Vilnius region, to stage a mutiny. On October 8, 1920, Żelazowski declared his units were acting independently to protect the rights of local Poles. In reality, he was following Pilsudski's secret orders. His forces advanced and captured Vilnius within 2 days, facing only brief resistance. Żelazowski then proclaimed the Republic of Central Lithuania, a nominally independent state with its own parliament, but effectively under Polish control. The ruse fooled no one, but diplomatically it allowed Poland to avoid direct blame. In 1922, after elections held under Polish supervision, Central Lithuania voted to join Poland. Lithuania denounced the vote as illegitimate and broke off all diplomatic relations with its southern neighbor. For nearly 20 years, the border stayed closed. Vilnius became the capital of Poland's Wilno voivodeship, while Lithuania moved its own capital to Kaunas, which it referred to as temporary. The League of Nations could not resolve the dispute. Only in 1938, under rising pressure from Germany, did the two countries finally re-establish contact, just a year before another war would engulf them both. The Polish-Lithuanian War was a small conflict, but it left deep scars. It showed how quickly old friendships could turn into rivalries when history and identity collided. Today, Poland and Lithuania stand united within NATO and the European Union, partners and allies once more. But the events of 1919 and 1920 remain a reminder of the fragile beginnings of independence, and how even the closest neighbors can be divided by the lines on a map. A forgotten border war over one city, fought between two nations that had once shared a crown. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more history that often gets overlooked, hit subscribe and join for the next one.